Arcade OneUp's T2 Deluxe, BitMap Bureau's He-Man, Big Money, Retro, Kickstarters, and where's Iconic Arcade's artwork? Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the channel on another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcade and retro gaming, episode 197. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a great week. I hope your weekend was productive, relaxing, non-eventful, however that works out, however that stacks up for you. I hope that's the way that it went. Tonight, if you've had a rough weekend, if you had a long week, maybe things didn't go your way, you know what always helps me? A good friend and a glass of something stout. Tonight is something is always stout in the glass over here on the This Week show. Tonight we are drinking, we're going to finish off maybe, just maybe, the Maker's Mark 46, the French oaked version of Maker's Mark. Just quite, it's a step above. It's one little step above the standard Makers. Definitely something that I'm going to go to. If you've got a couple bucks more, instead of getting standard Makers, go ahead and get the French oak. I mean, it's not going to make you French, and it really taste like oak. Not sure how they came up with the name, actually. Who cares? It tastes good. So tonight, everybody, congratulations. We made it another week. We're above the ground. So, yeah. Cheers. Tastes so good. Goes down so good. And the only thing bad about that is that, once I finish the one glass, we're done, right? Not necessarily. Tonight, you can unlock second pour with only 10 super chats, 10 of any denomination. It really doesn't matter. You can unlock second pour. We're just going to extend the show. And I'll pour another glass of something special. Well, probably the same stuff, right? We'll pour another glass and we'll talk, and we'll just do a straight up QA. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to discuss, we will absolutely do. That's the way that goes. So 10 super chats, second pour, away we go. There's something else I need you to do for me this weekend, or this week, today, right now. And it is participate in the poll question. Every week we have a poll question up in the chat. This week is no exception. Jump on over in the chat, the live chat right now. You have a poll running, been running for a little while now. I got 40 votes already. It's kind of lopsided. But here's the question. How likely are you to get the Arcade OneUp T2 Deluxe? The new Terminator 2 Deluxe, not the old one, but the new one. How likely are you to go ahead and pick this thing up? There's been a lot of discussion. We're going to continue to sort of discuss this tonight and talk about the ups and downs, the pluses and minuses. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of some of the other arcades out there because there's been a little discussion as far as the thickness, the height. How does this compare? We're going to talk about that tonight. But if you've already made your decision, tell me in the chat right now. Your four choices are pretty simple. Number one is, hey, I've already got mine ordered. All right, so you're obviously going to get it because you've already got it. Number two is I'm going to order it. Maybe waiting for payday, but you're going to go ahead and get this thing full price. You're all in, right? $5.99, not too bad. Your third option is going to be, well, I'm waiting for a sale. I'll get it, but I'm going to wait for a sale. Let this thing come down 50 or 100 bucks, and then I'm all in. Sounds good. And then your fourth and final option is not getting this one. Not doing it. Not interested. Just don't want it. I'm not going to tell you how the vote is going so far, but you can probably imagine it's not on the plus side. It's not on the I'm getting it side, but you could change the tide of the poll, jump in there and vote right now. I really want to know what you think out of those four options. Tell me where you land on this exciting new Arcade OneUp. I mean, new-ish, old. I don't know. We'll discuss this tonight, everybody. So, yeah, I am feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty accomplished. Got some more yard work done. I know it's not very glamorous, but other things have been wrapping up. The super secret project for my family member, I can go ahead and say that much, is done. Plans are being made. Next week, we're going to go and deliver it. And it's going to be really, really awesome. Really, really cool. I'm glad to get that completely wrapped up and out of here. Also working on a CPS2 board for another community member. They're in need of a second CPS2 setup. I've got several laying around. I thought, hey, listen, let me give this, well, I give it away. I sold it, but it was a pretty good deal. So I want to make sure that is top notch. So I got that thing cracked open. It's over on the bench, and I'm waiting for some buttons to show up for that B board. If you know anything about those buttons on the CPS2, I'm sorry, the A board. The CPS2 A board has these buttons, and they're plastic, and over time they break. And well, here we are 30 years later, and that stuff's going to happen. But we're going to talk about some stuff tonight. The Kickstarters. I want to talk about He-Man. I want to talk about what's going on with Iconic. But before I do all that, I want to talk to you and the top 10, the first 10 topics. Who is going to jump in? Not topics, but comments. The first 10 comments. Who is going to take home the gold? Who's going to slide into first place here? with a pretty respectable 11:56 a.m. It is Joy Saucy. What's going on, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. Got the thumbs up. That means hopefully we're doing a good job, or maybe we're hoping we're going to do a job. Either way, thumbs up, man. Thank you so much for being here. Great to see you. Angelo P. What's going on? Long time supporter of the channel. Coming in that coveted number 2 spot, Evening Fox and Chet. I finally made it first again. Well, second, but close enough. Close enough. Coming in at number 3 spot is Frank D. What's going on, buddy? Baked chicken thighs for dinner tonight. That sounds delicious. Sounds wonderful. A2D2 is coming in the number 4 spot. Thank you so much for being here as always. Lovely to see you in the chat every single time I stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Right back to you. Coming in the number 5 spot is Gramps Arcade. What's going on, buddy? Hey, Fox. I think I made the top 10. You did, buddy. Right smack dab in the middle. Number 5. Congratulations. Sorry. You hit enter a little too quick, didn't you? You made it. It happens. When you're in the top 10, you get excited. It's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. And we're happy that you're happy. And I'm happy that everybody's happy, because happiness is what it's all about, despite the darkness that resides deep in my soul. Dead inside. Coming in on the number 6 spot is Arcade Day. What's going on, buddy? Happy Sunday, Fox and fellow gamers. Excited for the new He-Man game and trying to avoid the FOMO of the GRS FU. Well, let me just check real quick. I hate to add to the FOMO or your denial of said FOMO, but you have currently 51 minutes left to go. We're going to talk about it before. I mean, it's actually going to end, I think, right as we're ending the show. Maybe if we get the first, or if we get the second pour, then we can actually talk about the final results of the Kickstarter. It's up to you. You make your voice be heard by voting with super chats. Yeah, that sounds good. Looking forward, as always, to the conversation this evening. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that I didn't add to the FOMO, but I think the FOMO. Sometimes it's not, FOMO's never a reason to buy something, period. Let me just say that. But the fear of missing out, the fear that this will be your only chance to get this, I think that is a legitimate fear in this case. Now, I don't think there's any reason to buy it. If you're not prepared to buy it, it's not a couple dollars, it's a couple $1,000. So it's definitely something you want to wait and make sure you have the capabilities and the budget to go ahead and do so. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's something small, something big. It doesn't matter. You never want to put yourself in a bind, especially when you're talking about a hobby, something you love. If it's a financial strain, you're not going to really enjoy it, are you? No. And whether it's yourself telling you shouldn't have bought that, or a significant other telling you shouldn't have bought that, you never want to be in that situation. So, but in any event, in about 50 minutes, you won't have to worry about it anymore, because your decision is going to be made for you. But thank you so much for being here and getting ready to enjoy the conversation. Coming in the number 7 spot is the Atheist of the North. Listen, after this, I'll talk to you about Jesus. Hello, Fox. Top 10 again. Absolutely, you made it, buddy. Coming in the number 7 spot, you did it. CP Fluid. Once again, one of the greatest YouTube handles of all time. So glad you're here in the number 8 spot. Ahoy there. Let me know when you are ready to sell the 4KP. I'll trade you a fast... Oh my God. Did you try to put the two things I don't like most in the world together? Although I think the Cleveland Browns jersey has substantial more value to me than the Fast and Furious. But we can discuss a monetary value if you like. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Always bringing the laughter and the levity and the joy, which is once again what I'm all about, despite the darkness that lives deep inside me. Coming in the number 9 spot is JJ. What's going on, buddy? Hello, 19K Fox. Looking forward to the show tonight. Thank you so much for being here. JJ, follow closely behind. JR in the number 10 spot. We got our first 10. We got our top 10. Hey, all. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here as well. Everybody, want to say hi to everybody else here in the chat. We got Dan Z. We got Israel Gaming. We got Video Game Vegas. Richard Clements. What's going on, buddy? Show Gecko in the house. Wish I was a rock star. Don't we all? Don't we all? Kevin Clausen gifting memberships and keeping that extra little spot in my heart devoid of darkness. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. Thank you so much for gifting an additional membership. Of course, those that are members, you are eligible, automatically going to be redirected to the after show directly after this show, where we continue the conversation and we use foul language, and we talk about stuff that I can't even talk about live on the air. It's crazy. It's wild. It's random. And it's really a lot of just behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, if you want to be part of that, become a member. Think about it. It's only $5 a month. Yeah, and you don't have to super chat anymore. That's kind of the deal. That's the way that works. David Deming is also here. Mike Hawkhurts is also in the house. Fire Island HD. Thank you so much for being here. Jason Bod like a mofo. Paul is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Nova Sonic 23 is here. Miss G. Tammy, wonderful to see you as always. Good evening, everyone. We have scroll down. Brooklyn Menace, not a menace, but he's in Brooklyn. It's close enough. Crazy that game hit 1 million and Glenn hit 500K. Congrats to both. Yes, can't wait to talk about both of them a little bit tonight. And you actually got your hands on with the game technology. I'd really need to get you on the show. We can talk about that because, well, that's already wrapped up and I'm in. How much did I get in on? I'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, I really wish I could have had the opportunity to experience that light gun technology. Chris Ford is also here. Jim Pacers fan. What's going on, brother? VB me. He be here. See what I did there? You like that? Water in the desert, which is definitely a rarity. Saved by Zero, a Tran fanatic. Always good to see you, man. Hey, Fox and people. I met Biggie D at Starfighters Arcade here in Mesa last night. Pretty chill dude. Very, very cool. It's always cool when we get to meet each other in real life. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes. Jason S is also here. Michael B, the Game Genie. I still have the original. I'm good in this one. Yeah, I think so. I think most people, if you already have the original, you're probably not missing out. But don't spoil the rest of the show, Mike. Come on, what are you doing? MSU Rich is also here. Sir Sega Bob, how the hell are you? Hope the boys are doing just fine. I still have the OG version of T2 and still happy with it. There we go. That seems to be some of the consensus of current T2 owners for sure. Gino7823 Iffy is also here. Thank you so much for being here. John is on the fritz. We'll try to get him back online. Maybe some tech support would absolutely help John out. Reach out to John. He's on the fritz. Give him a call. Dr. Torque is in the house. Better than Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Torque. That's what you need to get through the day. Arcade Star Wars fan. Always nice to see a new face. Thank you so much for being here. Ed already have another original to poll. There you go. Ed already have. Oh, Ed, I can't. Well, if I had 5 slots, I think I probably would have. I would definitely add, several other options to some of these poll questions. Really require more than 4 options. I agree with you. But I only get 4. So can't do it. Who else is here? We got everybody. We got CP Fluid is here again. Always great to see everybody. And what really warms my heart, I talked about that part of the heart that's not consumed in darkness. Those are the membership gifts. The other part, the bigger part that's not consumed by darkness. Not my family. No, it is super chats. And the first one of the night comes to us from David G. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. It's me, not Michael B. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for kicking it off. And of course, I got to kick you off the platform and into Bit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
PB&J is also here. A wonderful sandwich. Not a really good, substitute for like meat, flesh of lesser animals. It makes you strong. It's protein, but the peanut butter is really good. Mr. Clutch is also here. Mike of all trades, Moat, is in the house. Can't wait for him to show off his latest project. He gave me a sneak peek. It looks good. Looks damn good. Theme Park 365. When do you ever go to work? If you're at theme parks all day long. Or maybe you work at the theme park. Oh, well, then that kind of loses some of their fun, some of the flair, huh? MG is also in the house. I just had a big plate of iron meat for dinner. Very nice. I see what you did there. Stock Jock is in the house. To die for clean, like a mother, yeah. To die for GRS FU Iconic Arcade. Lots of hashtags. Great to see you, Bobby. As always, all up in this chat. A Punks is here. Is that everybody? I think we may have talked to everybody. Dane Bramage, there you are. There he is, just coming in there at the end there. Always good to see you as always, man. Always good to see you as always. Sure, why not? If you say always too many times, it comes off as insensitive and insincere. And I that was not my intent. Eric Tharp is also here. Thank you so much for being here. And I think we may have talked to everyone. We may have looked at everything. We may have said hi to everybody. We talked to Water in the Desert. Oh, JT Brunick, here we go. I knew I may have missed one. And I'm glad I'm not going to miss this one. It's a $2 super chat from Kevin V. Clausen. Already gifted a membership. now just dropped a super chat. He's trying to get us a second pour. I know what you're doing there. You aware there's a serial butt sniffer on the loose? Sometimes I just don't know how to react. You still surprise me. Just when I think I can't be surprised anymore, there we are. There we are. Kevin always coming in clutch with the oddness, but the super chats, which is also very good. Okay, everybody, we talked about what's in my glass. Pour yourself a drink, vote in the poll, and let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. The first part, let's talk about the kicker. Let's talk about the kicker. The kicker is the Kickstarter, and it's going really, really well. So before we get into anything, let me just check something real quick. Okay, we'll come back to that because Glenn, like we're counting down now. We're minutes away from that one ending. We'll talk about that one at the end of this segment. But let's talk about the first one that actually ended first yesterday. I think it's when it ended. Yeah, this is the one that I backed. This is the one that I was really excited about, and a lot of people were excited about. And it was the Time Crisis game. G apostrophe AIM apostrophe aim is in the middle, kind of a play on words. Probably not the best thing when you want to, when conversation, when you're telling somebody, hey, have you seen the game? Oh, which one? No, I mean game. No, really, what game? No, it's game. It's a light gun. Oh, it's a light gun game. What is it? Oh, it's Time. Why don't you just say Time Crisis? Well, because it's called game. You see how it gets confusing. It gets frustrating. Halfway through the conversation, people just bail out. But this is what is something it's unique. It's different. It's not sending light guns, which a lot of people, have been pretty happy with. I've been pretty happy with them, honestly. I mean, I'm not really have a problem with sending light guns, but that border around the edge kind of takes away some of the screen real estate. If you got a big TV, it probably doesn't matter. But some of these little 17-inch models, like on the arcade OneUps, real estate is at a premium for sure. So that's something that I was definitely interested to hear about. And then this using AI to kind of track objects and recalibrate and be super precise was something that was interesting. Well, this is officially ended, and it had a lot of support. So this is when they all wrapped up. This was the final update, or I guess the most current update on the Kickstarter. It says, we're thrilled to announce that the game Plug and Play Time Crisis gun system has officially wrapped up its Kickstarter campaign, and thanks to your incredible support, we've surpassed our funding goal by over 2,000%. These sound like made-up numbers. In just under 10 minutes, we were fully funded, and we've since raised over 157 million yen, $100 million US, with more than 5,300 backers. It's pretty crazy. So now what did I told you that I jumped in on this thing and I did. And which one did you get, Fox? Well, this is the one that I got. They had what's the other one called? Ultimate. I think the Ultimate Deluxe super mega. I don't know. I didn't get that one. This is the one this is a premium. It's one step above basic. And here's everything that was included. Now you can kind of see, if you squint your eyes, you can see the 19,800 yen is about $135 is what they said on the Kickstarter. What you get is you get one gun, you get Time Crisis and the 3 games, which was not part of the basic. The basic, I think, just came with Time Crisis, and it came with one gun. This one included the pedal assembly because I really wanted to be able to mimic that. I want to have the pedal assembly mated with this to see if it was I want to check out the quality, right? What is this going to take up to the abuse of somebody getting into a game and stomping on it? Don't really know, but I'm going to find out as soon as this thing shows up in November-ish, right? That's what they're saying. This is the English translation version, the English international version. So unfortunately, we are stuck with the blue gun instead of the black gun. That's the only kind of bummer. It comes with a power cable. It comes with which is just a USB Type-C. You get an HDMI cable, instruction manual, the collectible pin badge, and then if you're a Kickstarter like me, you get this cool keychain. So yeah, that's it. One thing that's funny, and this is, I blame Apple for this. Apple did this when I forget what iPhone it was, the 13, the 14, whatever it was. No AC adapter is going to be included. So you're going to have to come up with your own 5-volt brick, which you probably got a lot of them laying around the house, but it's just one of those things where technically you can't play this out of the box with everything. You have to go find something. You have to go buy another thing. You gotta have to have another AC adapter. It's just USB, but still, come on, guys. I mean, just what? Maybe no keychain, but give me an AC adapter. like a cool brick, something branded with game on it or something, so it looks official. Nintendo does that, where their AC adapters have Nintendo printed right on them. It's pretty cool. Now, how much did I actually pay? Well, as soon as this thing ended, my credit card got charged. What I got charged total was $157.23 for what you see right here. You're going to get the box, you're going to get the gun, the foot pedal, and then the keychain stuff. I don't really care about that stuff. But this is pretty much, it's called the premium, but I think this is exactly what you wanted to get. You didn't save too much money if you got the basic, because you got to factor in you did get the pedal, so you lose some of the functionality with Time Crisis or some of the real gameplay experience. You don't get that if you don't have the foot pedal. And then, one game, that's not fun. That's not fun. So yeah, so this is definitely the best way to go. $157. So what does that break down to? Like, that's not $50 a game. That would be $40 a game, $30 a game. So yeah, it's not exactly cheap, especially if you have this thing emulated, if you have other setups, if you have a PC setup, if you have the actual, the cabinet that OneUp has. This is definitely not something you would want to invest in, since you've already spent all that money on that arcade cabinet. But it was significant in my mind because it is exactly the games list that you get from that cabinet. And, kind of hinted at OneUp losing some of that exclusivity when you have these arcades being replicated in different ways, legitimately, fully licensed by Namco with all that cooperation. It's like, begs to question, how exclusive are these deals? How much, how much is arcade? OneUp really doesn't have these things sort of locked down. Proprietary. No one else can have them. And that's not really the way you want to live your life. You want to be able to give stuff away, like a $2 super chat from Dr. Torque, who doesn't say anything, just wanting to contribute, trying to get us a second pour. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Really appreciate you. Here you go.
Wolverine win. Rookie.
Working on the first pour. Don't judge me. Don't judge me, and don't judge Kevin Clausen for, again, another $2 super chat. Always appreciate you, brother. My bank account can't handle these super chat goals. Well, just, $1 at a time, is the only way you have to do it, really. Or you don't have to do any of it all. We could just we could just spend less time together. But come on. Nobody wants to do that, right? We want to spend more time together. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Appreciate all your help. And let me give you something. You hear this, one of my favorites. You and me. Let's go kill the queen. So going back to the Kickstarter, you see how much I paid for mine. Okay. That was not the most expensive option. The most expensive option included everything I have but a second gun. So if you want to have some two-player action for the Steel Gunner and Point Blank, which is, it's kind of something I kind of wish that I maybe would have sprang for a little extra money, because it will be nice to, have two-player action on a big widescreen TV. Like I think we have a 75-inch down here for watching movies and playing. That's where I have my modern consoles. That's where I want to try this out. That much real estate, okay, you could have a lot of fun. Two players could really cut loose on that. So that's the one thing I'm kind of kicking myself for. Now, one thing is that while it is the initial campaign is ended, they've continued it. They've continued on, but in a not a complete way. They've extended it for people that want to get in now. Now the initial campaign is over. They've extended some of it. They've only extended the US releases or the international releases, the English versions, which, hey, that's good for us, right? But then kind of begs the question, well, why not? Well, I mean, what about the Japanese release? Like, why aren't they extending it for them? It's funny when you look at the breakdown. So if you actually go through all the rewards and you tally everything up, because it's clearly divided between the international version, the blue gun, and then the Japanese version, the black gun. And it's kind of interesting when you look at it. So in Japan, there's only 508 backers. Now, to be clear, I'm talking about 508 backers of the Japanese product. Maybe if you're in Japan and you maybe you wanted the English version. I'm not exactly sure. So this is kind of Japan versus the rest of the world, I guess. Other companies or other countries, I guess they don't speak Japanese. Makes sense, or else they would live in Japan, right? But the rest of the world said the international version, the English version said, hey, guess what? We want this thing way more than the Japanese. Almost all, well, I'll say almost all, almost 4,895 backers wanted the international version. Now, it doesn't give me personally, I don't have access to their numbers. I don't know what the actual breakdown is as far as how many in the US got this, but I got to think it's a pretty high, pretty substantial percentage of that. But it's crazy to look at the breakdown. So I think when you look at that breakdown, it's kind of makes sense that they did not extend the ability to back this in the Japanese region. They probably think they got all they could out of that. The overwhelming response from the rest of the world, the English-speaking world, is exactly why they've extended it for the Blue Gun, for that brand or that version of the release. It was overwhelming. 4,895 is exactly, it's just crazy. I mean, almost all of it, right? Almost 10 times the amount of backers internationally. Now, listen, the population, it's not exactly an apples to apples, right? You have way more people in English speaking countries that live in Japan, right? But it's kind of cool to see the international response to this. I mean, and it kind of breaks down some of the numbers for us that maybe don't really pay attention to how many things are sold in Japan versus America or the UK or wherever. It really kind of shows you that if you're making something in Japan, you're wanting to appeal to the international audience because of that reason right there. So if you did not back this, the initial campaign is over, but you can still right now go and back, if you want the international version, the Blue Gun, the English version, you can go get all the packages are still available. So you can get the basic, the premium, and the ultra. And Ultimate, I think is the last one. Ultimate is the last one. So there you go. That is something that I'm really excited about, not just because of these particular games and this specific system here. I don't think, unlike Glenn's Kickstarter, which is probably a one and done, unless they get some big orders, it's definitely a niche, very much a specialized product. We may not see that again. There's a pretty high likelihood that we're not going to see another run of this. I think when we talk about this, and as evidence that they've already extended those, the window to actually jump in and back this, that window's already been extended right off the bat. I think that because they've made so much money, I mean, over $1 million, a lower price point definitely helps. Everybody can get in. I mean, I can spend 150 way easier than I can spend $2,000, right? Or 1,500, right? There's a big difference. So it's not apples, once again, not apples as far as that comparison goes, but definitely lower point of entry, classic games. I'm excited about the potential for other companies to partner with Game, AIM, whatever, and actually, maybe explore other options, other companies. Sega is absolutely the one that I thought of as soon as I heard about this product. I backed this product pretty quick, but I'm really, really hoping that Sega will see this as a good opportunity to officially license some of their great games and come up with a game peripheral that is very, very distinct. Maybe get the Uzi for the House of the Dead games. I'm not sure. And partner with a company that could really just take a couple titles, just give us like 4 Sega shooters out there, some classics of some Virtual Cop, House of the Dead, whatever. And you could really just, and it would not the whole catalog. We're not taking every game out of your hands, Sega, but definitely some big hitters, heavy hitters with Sega. So I'm excited to see other companies maybe come to the table and decide they want to give this a try. Maybe Konami. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what can happen. Speaking of being interested as far as how things go, interested to see how things shake out. I'm interested to see that there's now 5 new members, 5 new gifted memberships from B Kirby, always supporting the channel. Brother, I really thank you so much. It always helps when you slide in there and lay down some of that hard-earned cash to support this channel. It means a great deal. And then to back it up, to double down, you got a $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Really appreciate you working on that second pour. We're halfway there. I was watching Glenn's live stream a little while ago, and then it was canceled. It said due to copyright or something like that. Did anyone else see that? That's messed up if someone did that to him. Usually it's because of he's showing something proprietary. He's showing a video of, I mean, it could be an audio thing. It could be, he could be playing music that's licensed. And if it's really clear and he's playing too much of it, then that could get you canceled. If he's showing a live, like if I showed you an NFL game right now while it was live, they'd shut me down quick. They shut me down really quick. So it's probably from somebody higher up. I doubt it's somebody that has a personal vendetta against Glenn. I don't know what he would be showing that would demand that kind of a reaction. Usually, if I'm going to copyright strike somebody else, like, or another creator copy strike somebody else, I think that happens after the fact. I've never done it before. I don't know. I mean, like, somebody could take my video and they could do something with it, and I think I could copyright strike them, but I don't know how that works. But I think from what I've heard that actually will come after the video is over. I don't know. In any event, sad to see, but you got to be careful with some of that restricted content, with some of that copywritten stuff, movies and music, and all that is rough. Almost like this fatality.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
You know, I do like B. Kirby. Do I like B. Kirby more as his chats are bigger? I'm not even going to lean in to that implication, but thank you so much, brother, again, for your super chat. Okay, so I took this screenshot where Glenn was at 2 hours before it ends. It wraps up around 9 o'clock. So I guess about an hour ago, I took that screenshot, $508,000. Well, guess what, kids? Let me go ahead and share the screen, because things have changed. Things have changed, and it's not for the worse, which you would think maybe last second people are freaking out. No, it's actually going the other way. So let me go ahead and share my screen right now. Check out the latest and greatest. As we're looking at this, 26 minutes to go. Some people are actually last minute jumping in, and they're deciding maybe the FOMO got the worst of them, the best of them, depending on how you slice it. And they are jumping in actually like crazy. So you can see from my screenshot, I'll show you my screenshot here. Boom. That screenshot just an hour and a half ago, right? Because now we're looking at edit to stage. Let me remove that. There we go. Edit stage. There we go. So 2 hours until the death toll rang. We were at 508. Now 25 minutes left, and we are at $525,000. That is a hell of a jump. Now, if we look at the backers, you're talking about 266 backers. He's picked up, the community's picked up another 8 backers. That's crazy in just an hour and a half. So how high would this thing go? I don't really know, but this has jumped up just while I've been streaming. I think he picked up 2 more backers when all this is going on. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of like a Jerry Lewis telethon. It's coming down to the wire. Jump in, because honestly, this is it, guys. I think this is probably going to be it. If he had a crazy, insane, massive response, perhaps there'd be a chance for a second run. And crazy, insane would mean like $1 million, $2 million, something nuts, right? I think that maybe that would justify a second run. But I think that this is probably going to be the end of it. I think it's definitely more than he was expecting. I got to believe that he's just ecstatic and excited. I'm happy as hell for the guy. You never want to see somebody put it all out there and then the funds just don't get there, and the pledges don't just get there, and the backers aren't there, and it just doesn't happen, and it fails and it sputters. That is absolutely not going to be the case here. This thing is rocking, guys. This thing is rocking. The goal, remember, was $200,000, not a little goal. He smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Glenn and the community. And Glenn sent me a message earlier today, and I was congratulating him, and he said, no, we did it. Community did it. And that's always been his focus. It's always been Glenn's passion. And so it is absolutely great to see the good guy come in first and really come in and win. So that's awesome. So guys, like I said, it is what it is. 23 minutes left. $524,000. That's not too shabby. So Glenn's definitely going to be happy. And the pledges have been met, but it is your last chance, guys. We're just minutes away from you not being able to get your hands on this. You're not going to be able to jump in at all. Later on, I just don't think it's going to happen. So now is the time. If you've been waiting, wait no longer. Wait no more, because this is it. This is absolutely it. Let me kill that, and let me kill that. And then, yeah, so that's kind of where that is. It's exciting. And if you want to step back and look at it more broadly, the fact that retro gaming is getting this much attention, this much love, it's not just developing a game, which we're going to talk about some retro games in a second, retro inspired games. It's not just that, which is exciting, but these are full blown products that are coming to market, some with official backing, some not. So you got two different examples. One very expensive, not officially licensed. One very affordable and officially licensed. And both of them blast through their goals, exceed the standard. And I think there's a big desire for retro, not just because of it's retro, it's whatever, it's nostalgia. I think it's for quality. And I think we're lacking some uniqueness today in current gaming. So I think that for better or for worse, I think for the better, expect more retro goodness in the future. Moving on to the next retro inspired thing, which is something really, I'm excited about this. I can't wait to talk about more of the details about this, but not before we talk about this. Another $5 super chat from B Kirby. We got a super chat war going on in the chat right now, and I'm here for it. Absolutely love it. The chats aren't the only thing that are bigger than yours. Let me just give you this, and we'll move on. I tend to agree with this. I think this success just reiterates how much hunger there is in the community for new products, good for Glenn, and the desire for something tangible, that tactile experience, and the ability to maybe overcome a big hurdle, which is that freaking cabinet. Like, a lot of people just can't buy that, or we don't want to go with a Rec Room Masters 16x9 setup. We want something different. Glenn's absolutely coming in clutch. He's killing it. And I'm here for it. I'm also here for another $2 super chat. Looks like it's a war between these two guys. Fox, tell us now who you like more. I can tell you right now, and I'm not gonna mess around. Okay, I'm gonna give you a definitive answer. And I gotta say, it's that.
Can't you do any better?
That's just how I feel about it, and I'm not gonna be ashamed of it. Not gonna run away from it. So that's my decision. Moving on, let's talk about He-Man. Let's talk about He-Man and another great retro style beat 'em up. I am excited for this one. If you're a kid of the 80s, you're just gonna eat this up. You're gonna sop up the gravy with a biscuit of just all the nostalgic goodness. I love this trend of taking old properties and making a retro style beat 'em up that's not super pixelated, where we can't really see what's going on. Don't mimic exactly those 8-bit era, 16-bit era games. I want to see updated sprites, but in that same sort of style. The gameplay, the physics. That's what I'm loving. I think it all started with Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. I think that's really all where it started. But let's talk about where we are right now. So all we really have to go on is just the trailer itself. There's some other speculation out there, but they talk about the 4 playable characters you're going to have. And here they are right here. Obviously, you're going to have He-Man. You're going to have Man-at-Arms Teela, and you're going to have Evil Lyn. So, like, where's Ram Man? I mean, this is not just going to be the heroes, or maybe it's going to be sort of a convoluted, complex story where you got to enlist the help of some of the villains, right, to fight the new evil that's risen up or whatever. I don't even know, but I'm excited for all of it. So right off the bat, you can see these character sprites look great. Really, really kind of reminded me of Shredder's Revenge. I was a big fan of the CPS2 games, those Marvel vs. Capcom games, and how they have this sort of cool sprite detail, shape, style for all those characters for those games. as we begin to continue on in this style, I'm getting a lot of that. There's a lot of detail packed in this small package, and you can see a lot of the action on screen. You got to get the sprite size right. Your character size has to be correct. If you're going to have 4 characters, at least for now, maybe more in the future, you don't want them to be too big or too small. If they're too small, you want to see them pulling off the moves. You want to see the environment too, but there is a mix. And I think this size, this ratio is absolutely perfect. So there are your 4 main characters, playable characters you're going to have. Interesting. Now, right off the bat, you can see that He-Man's you're gonna have a power up, so that makes sense. A lot of times you can charge up this super move, right? It's not just going to be He-Man though. Picking apart this trailer, taking some of these screenshots, you can see sort of the same stuff is going on. You have Tila. She's doing she's gonna throwing up magic. Like, and you remember Golden Axe when you would throw up this magical potion and then something would happen, bombs would explode or whatever. This looks like what's going on. So she's throwing up something, or she's making a call, or she's doing her super, and then a dragon swoops in with Orko, and they're blasting flames and killing all the enemies on the screen. Looks like you're also going to have a slightly lower level super. So where one would be the ultimate super move or super combo or whatever, with I have the power with He-Man. Tila's going to be calling down the heat and the fire from this dragon guy. You're also going to have these beam attacks. So in this trailer, we see Tila shooting a beam, and then we also see Man-at-Arms shooting the beam. Now, this reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom, where you would have those beam attacks from Ryu and Iron Man, these sort of beam attacks that were a lower level power as far as the impact, as far as the damage they would do, but you're going to have that. So you can imagine side-scrolling beat 'em up. You're pummeling everybody with your melee attacks. Though I'm sure there'll be some throws. You can throw objects, I'm sure, like every other, beat 'em up out there, right? But then having these beam attacks kind of adds a cool little twist. I mean, it's not just a single shot. It's a beam that goes all the way across. So that's cool. Are all the characters going to be able to do that? Not exactly sure. But the supers and the ultimates and having those enemy clearing moves are going to be just awesome. It's going to be super fun. I want to know, I don't know that we have confirmation yet. I want to know if we're going to have voices from the original voice cast. Are they going to rip the audio right out of, and maybe not all the audio, but the voices? Like to hear He-Man say, I have the power, from the original voice actor who did that from back in the day, and to have all these little words spoken by these characters to be done by the original characters, by the original voice actors, would be phenomenal. I would be all over it. I hope that little detail is there. They'd be forgiven if they couldn't do it. If some of the actors, I don't know if any of them have passed away or if they're still around, or you could just sample. I would think you could just sample the original cartoon show and shove that in there. And that would be awesome. That would be incredible. Almost as incredible as a $5 super chat. This one from David G. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, buddy. Love the show, bro. But know this: if you send a pit, I will send you to the pit, I guess. I will have Scotty beam me up, and Darth Vader can't save you. Well, with threats like that, who needs friends? I don't know.
Finish him. Scrap wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Because all that sounds great. I'd love to just see that. As Darth Vader was bearing down on me, about to strike me dead with his lightsaber, I'd be having the time of my life. This is great. It's just like the movie. Oh, I'm dead. It's what can you do? What can you do? So yes, this looks really good, and it continues the same theme that we have seen from all these other great. Now, .emu is definitely somebody that you got to think of, comes to mind when you talk about these same style of games. I talked about Shredder's Revenge. It absolutely, in my mind, started with that. But .emu has done other great work. You're going to have Streets of Rage 4, which is something I love. Love that game. Very much in the same spirit as the original games on the Genesis. All that was awesome. So that's definitely awesome. Very cool. We have Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I'll say it for the critics. Ninja Gaiden. Are you happy? Are you happy? I'm trying to make friends here, not enemies. Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, also coming out, or is already out now. Windjammers 2, I haven't had a chance to check that out. And then Cosmic Invasion, Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be absolutely incredible, almost as incredible as a $2 super chat. The 10th one of the night, Fox. Do you think Thundercats will be next? I hope. Thundercats would be an excellent way, subject for another game just like this. You take a game like this and you think about the style and you think about all the same things, right? All the same supers and ultimates and the moves and the characters that could be involved. Very iconic characters with a great look. Thundercats would be an excellent next game for them to maybe think about doing. Mattel, come on, talk to me. Let's make this happen. Let's make it happen. Bitmap Bureau is absolutely killing it. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. And you know what you've done? You've unlocked Second Pour.
Let's go. Wolverine win. Rookie.
So yeah, we've got .emu out there killing it with these games, and it's not just them. You also have other games. Double Dragon Rise, Gaiden, Rise of the, what is that? I can't even see it. Rise of the Dragons. I don't know. I can't remember if that one came out before. I think it came out after Turtles, or maybe around the same time. They were probably in development at the same time. That had a little bit of a different look. I like the game. I own it. It wasn't quite as good. The sprites, the size, the look wasn't quite there. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed Turtles more. But then you have Rita's Rewind. It's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. The Power Rangers game, very much styled in the same sort of way as Turtles, and I have that game. That game's really fun. I like that game a lot. Karate Kid, Street Rumble, same thing. Very much the same aesthetic. I dig all that. I love all that. It's very cool. But it's cool, but not quite as enjoyable as some of the other games. But definitely another example of exactly the same kind of style, the same kind of form factor, or not form factor, but the same kind of flow. The same thought process of just listen, let's just take something that's probably not going to be a ton of effort to, and I'm not trying to diminish the efforts by anyone who developed this game, but development can't be that insane. We're not doing some wild, crazy online enabled full 3D environment, first person shooter. We're doing a very slick, very, very tight, concise little beat 'em up, 8 levels, have some really cool, just sort of ideas from your IP, whatever you're using. So if it's Double Dragon, if it's a Karate Kid, take all the cool elements from that, incorporate that in the backgrounds, in the play, and then have some characters, find a cool sprite look to all these characters, give them a good look, and then just go at it and have fun. And you could apply that to just take your pick. Nova Sonic had a excellent suggestion with Thundercats. I would be all over that. Think about that. To have the move where he, you actually hear Thundercats ho, and then the sword comes out, and that's one of his super moves. Or maybe that's how he starts off the level. And then you have all those other iconic characters, good guys and bad guys. Voltron, maybe you kind of do the same thing. It would almost be like a copy of the Power Rangers, where eventually you have levels where they form together. They form Voltron, and Voltron's fighting another, Megazord or whatever. I mean, that would kind of be sort of the same thing, but you could have battles with just the individual characters and their individual lions. Maybe you could do that. Of course, Transformers would be absolutely sick. A Gen 1 Transformers game just like this. What was the game? I think it was Devastator. I have that. I think I have that on PlayStation 3. Hold on. Oh, give me just 1 second. Where's it at? Where's it at? Hold on. I thought I saw it. Yeah, here it is. Aha. I got it. Yeah. Thought I fell down. I thought I died. This one is sealed, but I think I downloaded it before I found it on a physical media. But yeah, so this was a really cool cell shaded type of Generation 1 Transformers game. That was cool, but I think I would love to see them take. If you take, listen, I guess this is Hasbro. You get the Gen 1 Transformers. I mean, think about, so you can transform into truck mode and run things over, run enemies over. You can have like Devastator at the end where they all come together and you got to fight this massive bad guy monster. With the Constructicons. I mean, you could just go nuts. You could go nuts. G.I. Joe did have something, DB me. I don't think that was more about the execution. The IP is excellent. They just needed to work on the execution a little bit more. But that, again, another great property that maybe they could revisit this. Maybe they could give it another chance. But G.I. Joe, absolutely. I know they made some games, but it could offer a lot of it could offer a ton of characters. People are talking about Mask, which I know they got new Mask toys coming out. Maybe it'd be a great time to have a Mask game. And the same thing, everything converts into something else. So think of the fun you could have with that. Think of the vehicle driving like levels you could have with some of this. I kind of half jokingly on Super Gamer Dude says something about Knight Rider, but I would love not. I mean, I don't know how. I guess you could just have, David Hasselhoff running around kicking ass. He's just going through the levels, beating up bad guys, and he's saving some girl at the end. That's what it is. But then you could have like the Knight Rider car chase scenes. You could have these driving levels where you're piloting Kit. That would be cool. You could have Kit versus Goliath. You could have all kind of stuff. So that could be fun. That could be cool. But I think that they could just apply this to pretty much in the A-Team is another great one. Gamer Fridge, awesome. Good suggestion. Saved by the Bell, the best suggestion ever. I can't. Killing me. Yeah. The Transformers. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you, that'd be absolutely fun. Yeah, A-Team would be. A-Team 100%. Yeah, a van driving stage, and that's the thing. I'd go Knight Rider. Then you need to go Baywatch. Baywatch, that could be the unlockable characters. Maybe after you beat the game one time, you can play the game again as CJ. I wouldn't get anything done. None of us would. Magnum PI, break out the helicopter, break out the Ferrari. Absolutely. What about the Miami Vice? I mean, the list goes on the Trailer Park Boys. Exactly. Where are we at? Rugrats. You guys are nailing it. Rugrats beat them up. Yeah. Yeah, screen on cocaine rage mode. That would be that's where we need to be. Screech would destroy. Airwolf is another great idea. Absolutely love Hardcastle and McCormick. I love that car. Fantastic Island. Okay, maybe we're jumping the shark. Maybe the shark has already been jumped. But anyway, that's exactly where my head's at. I'm excited about these games. Yes, I'm going to pick this up day one. I will get it physically. It's kind of been my downfall, I guess, but I want to have these things physically. I want to have these, especially when you're talking about stuff that is blended with an awesome IP. I mean, to have this game with all the stuff that's going to come with, it's not just going to be a game and a disc. I guess it depends on, or a game in a cartridge, a game in a cartridge, a game in a case. It's not just going to be a disc in a case. There's going to be more stuff in there, especially if you get some of these different deluxe versions. And I think that some of those are warranted. It's an exciting time to be alive, to see these IPs being turned into these absolutely phenomenal games that are just super fun. And with online functionality, everybody can jump in and play. And it's co-op. It's just fun. It's just nostalgia. You're button mashing. You're having a great time. And it barely ever affects, your drink whatsoever. Because you can just almost play with one hand and grab the drink and you can just keep on going. It's fine. It's perfect. It's exactly what's needed. Just like a $5 super chat from this Transformer, Kings of Cobra. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. Good to see you, Fox. Hope everything is well. It is absolutely well. I'm blessed, man. Having a great time. I've been away for a while. Glad to be back. A Thundercats beat 'em up would be awesome. Absolutely. I think everybody, that might be the next poll question for next week. Or maybe I'll just put it up on my channel and give it a week and see who votes on what. I guess the hardest thing to do would actually be just figuring out, how do you limit it? What do you limit to? I mean, pick your top four. That may be more difficult than actually answering the poll in the first place. Thank you so much again for your super chat, brother. Here you go. How could we forget the Nickelodeon classic? Doug. Doug saves the day. Just like a $5 super chat from Bones McCoy. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. 275 people have supported Glenn's FU Kickstarter for a total of $527,000. Who here ordered one other than me? Let's refresh. Where are we at? Oh, boy. Looking good. Looking absolutely good. But unfortunately, buddy, I hate to tell you, before I blow you up, before I give you your super chat reward, I got to show you something else. You're wrong. He is not at $527,000. Glenn has now hit $529,000. $529,000. That's nuts, guys. 3 minutes left to go. I almost want to just sit here and wait the 3 minutes. Let's just leave. I'll just leave it on screen, I guess. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. Let me go and blow you up, give you something special. What haven't I played tonight? Let me do this. Full house, full contact, no prisoners. Have mercy. I love it. Absolutely love it. Got tons of Glenn support in the chat right now. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let's go ahead and watch it. Let's see, let me refresh. We're still at 3 minutes. 2 minutes left. We'll go ahead and talk about the next topic for just a second. Then we'll see this thing come to a climactic conclusion, impactful conclusion, suspenseful conclusion. I don't know. Glenn gets a huge congrats for what he accomplished. Absolutely. But he'll tell you, he'll throw it right back to you and say, no, it was a community. Captain Planet. Oh, well, you know, not all suggestions are good suggestions. They're just not. They're just really not. We'll come back. We'll check on him in just a second. But before we do, we got to go into something else. We got to talk about Arcade OneUp. Oh, yeah. Coming back. They're back. Arnold said they'd be back. Well, guess what? So is Arcade OneUp. They're back. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they are back and back with a vengeance. Is back good? Should they have just stayed gone? Well, I don't know. That's going to be up for you to decide because it's not all good, guys. Not all good. So T2 is back. It is in deluxe form factor this time. And if you're going to do it, this is what I think this is the way you should do it, right? If you're going to bring another cabinet back, it has to have a significant amount of differences. You've got to have something different. It's got to be a lot different than what it was before to justify making this thing again and asking customers to buy this version over the original. And I just, it's just, I think that's where to start. If you're talking about positives, that's the way we start. So this thing is definitely absolutely different. It's a deluxe. There's no riser this time. There is a lit coin door, and everything else seems to be in place. Same game list, just one. And then you're going to have the behind the scenes, all that good stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you thought, what you saw, what you expected with the first one. And before we get into this too far, let's go ahead and count it down, guys. What do you think? Let's count it down. Let's celebrate Glenn and his final minute, 55 seconds. Look, it's already jumped up. It's already jumped up. Okay, guys, you're literally 1 minute away, less than a minute away. Let's see this thing go. Come on. Now's the time. If you want to jump in, guys, this is it. If you want to jump in, if you want to support it any way possible, this is your last chance. We are now 35 seconds away. Man, it's suspense. Suspense is killing me. 30 seconds. We've already seen it jump up. He surpassed $534,000, guys. It's incredible. This is the community saying, hey, this is what we want. Here we are. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. And 15. Come on, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's over. There we go. Look, hey, the fireworks. 280 backers. Let's refresh just to make sure we have the most current list. It's all over. And yep, 280 backers, guys. $534,000. Congratulations, Glenn. Congratulations to the community. That is pretty awesome. FU for the win. FU, baby. Exactly. Woohoo. Party indeed. Absolutely, guys. That's pretty incredible. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. B Kirby, another super chat. Thank you so much again, brother, for your $5 super chat. I was Glenn's 275th backer. Seriously, good luck, Glenn. I better love this thing. I better love this thing, Glenn. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Here you go. So that's pretty awesome. Congrats. Congratulations, Glenn. They're going to run through this real quick, guys. I want to talk about this. We've already talked this kind of to death, but there's certain things you need to understand when you're talking about this particular cabinet. it is not just a standard Deluxe. The Deluxes have changed, and the Deluxes are, if you're talking about overall size, a little less deluxe. Now, if you remember, I couldn't find the original. I wanted to find the original diagram of this cabinet, but this was at the time the deepest cabinet they had ever made, and it was substantial. Where the riser, you couldn't just put this on a standard riser because it was so much deeper. I think like 2 inches deeper. If memory served me well, I remember that. I had mine for a long time before I finally sold it to make room for something else. And when you look at this side by side with other Deluxes, it just really it's a little bit shocking. So for a little bit of perspective here, before we get into this graphic, my Generation 3 Ninja Turtles over here on its riser, not counting the 4 inches on the ground. I got another riser, right? But just the riser and the cabinet itself is 58 inches. That's just, I had to raise mine up a little bit because I'm a tall guy. 58 inches. This thing is only 61 and a half, which is wild when you consider at the time this was also, I think this was the tallest. It was a little bit taller than the Big Blue. And the Big Blue was really just mostly marquee to get that height. This thing is now only 61 and a half inches, which is shorter than a Street Fighter Deluxe. And it's about the same height as the X-Men Deluxe. But where you're really going to see the difference, not so much in the width, it's roughly the same width. It's a little bit skinnier than the Street Fighter 2 Deluxe. It's a lot skinnier than the X-Men 97 Deluxe. But it's incredibly thinner. So you're looking at a 24-inch depth, 23.5-inch depth, depending on which Deluxe you're looking at, versus this, which is basically, I hate to say it, but we're Slim Katie. This is Slim Katie territory, only 18.4 inches deep. That's pretty pathetic. That's pretty sad. That is not good. That is not good at all. So unfortunately, this is a reality. This is something you got to consider whenever you're thinking about doing this. And if you're talking about how many people have actually bought this, now we're going to talk about the poll question after the show. And yeah, you'll see where I'm talking about. And please vote in the poll question now. It's good. It's live in the chat right now. Get up there and vote. Let me know how you feel. I really want to know what everybody's opinion is. But this is being sold on Amazon and Walmart. Walmart doesn't do this, but Amazon certainly does. And you're looking at 50 plus bought. Now, this has not been live for a month. It's only been live this week. So 50 in a week isn't, I guess, bad. But we ain't even broke 100 yet. Now, if you combine this with Walmart, maybe we have, right? I don't know who shops on Walmart versus Amazon. Who knows? But it's not looking terribly good. Like maybe this wasn't the most popular thing to do. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, if you got it and you like it, you kept it. I kept mine for a very long time. When I got down to 2 arcade OneUps, it was one of those 2. I'm down to Turtles and that's it. But I kept T2 for a long time and I modded it like crazy. There's tons of videos on my channel. Check them out. The original review video is still up, all that stuff. I had a great time with the cabinet. It was a good cabinet. But I eventually, just had to make room for something else. Another shooting cabinet coming into my arcade later. So I had to get rid of it. Had to make way for it. But if I didn't have that other arcade coming in, I'd probably still keep it. Because once you get past the one game, and once you get past the fact that it's just, the guns are what the guns are, I think they're the best guns that Arcade OneUp ever made. That may not be saying a lot to you, but I think they are. I think they're the best guns that Arcade OneUp's ever made. And if you take a little time to add a little weight to them like I've done and others have done, paint them black, there's not a lot of reasons to get rid of it. Now, the PCB was bad on a lot of these from back in the day. I never had an issue with mine. I actually had an extra one that I sold when I sold my T2 arcade OneUp. But I think maybe just making it a Deluxe is not going to cut anymore, especially when we all know now that your standard for Deluxe has fallen significantly. Deluxes used to be bigger, like taller, no risers, but the same depth and all that. Now we're losing depth, about the same width, much, much shorter. I mean, when you just think about it, you're going to pick the gun up and shoot at this. You're going to have to be looking down, aiming down at this thing, unless you go out and get another riser. And if you're so tall, there may be no way around that. But that's the way it is. That's the way it shakes out. This is what you're getting now. This is a deluxe now. These aren't the deluxes from the past. They're getting cheap. They're getting skinny. And I don't think there's a lot of reason to get it. Now, if you never had a chance to get one and you were never able to find one secondhand, a good one, if you want to get something brand new, go ahead and get this. I mean, give it a shot. But no, you're going to have to raise this thing up. And also know it's going to feel pretty shallow. But, I mean, at this point, if you want something brand new, if you want this T2 brand new, this is pretty much your only option. Moving on to the last topic, which is Iconic Arcade. Where is the actual artwork? Now, what are we talking about when we're talking about artwork? Well, this was the most recent communication that Iconic Arcade had with their customers. Hey, listen, we promise you a choice in artwork. Here are your choices. Let us know what you think. And it was good to see this. And they came out with some images that we could see the cabinets, and they were basically the same size of the cabinets that were at I forget the name. I think it wasn't Evo. It was the special event that Arc System Works had. And they were showing off the Double Dragon cabinets. And so they were basically the same size as those Double Dragon cabinets. So it was good to get those final dimensions. We got the widths and depths and all that great stuff. And the one thing out there was, of course, the artwork itself. What was the choice? Now, I made no bones about it. I am high on number 2. That's what I wanted. But I don't think the majority of people that were voting were feeling that kind of artwork. That may have been a little bit too traditional for them, and they wanted something a little bit different. So there was a bunch of choices out there. And I think option 1 was the original artwork, and everything after that was different variations and variants. And they were supposed to come out with that. I heard Monday, but then I was told, officially, okay, next week. This will come out on the Media OneUp Facebook page, fan Facebook page, next month, right? I'm sorry, not next month, next week. So it should have happened this week. Well, here we are, Sunday night. Hasn't happened yet. So I reached out again and I heard next week. I said, okay, I'll update my audience so they know, I guess, what I know. Here we go again, guys. Now, this is the frustration we have, right? It's like we finally hear something and we're all excited, and that's good. We got stuff to talk about. We're digging into the details. That's what we like. We get excited about this stuff. And then, all right, there's a follow-up coming, and then now we have this sort of pause. I mean, come on, pick the artwork, right? You got so many votes in. Now, maybe it came down to the wire. Maybe it's close. Maybe this week they should have sent out that email or that. Well, I guess it would be an email to the customers and say, listen, hey, we're really close. It's down to this one and this one. You vote again and tell us what you want. Maybe if it was within 1 or 2 votes, you really want to make sure that it's exactly what people want. I don't know, but I've heard that one of the selections is running away with it pretty handily. They're almost certain that's the way it's going to be. So why didn't we hear about it? Come on, guys. Come on. Kind of stick to your guns here. Be consistent. That's what we're looking for. And eliminate some of this, some of the weirdness. Eliminate some of the, the trepidation that a lot of people have with jumping in and buying this product. Now, it's not really available to pre-order anyway, but if you want to really solidify your position and really want to really just calm down any anxiety that may exist in your current customers that have currently pre-ordered the cabinet, you got to be consistent, guys. And you got to, if you're going to do something, if you say you're going to do it, then you have to do it when you say you're going to do it. That's unfortunate. So maybe this week, hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get to see the winning side art, and then that should answer almost most of your questions. And maybe, just maybe, they can calm the nerves of people, and then we can get excited about maybe seeing some updated, not just renders, but actual images of the cabinet. Ooh. Would you look at that? Now, usually we would end the stream now, but no, tonight we've got the we got actually more than 10 super chats. That means you've unlocked second pour.
What does a cowboy, comedian, surfer, singer, writer, showbiz gopher, and sheriff have in common? Nothing. But right now in LA, these 7 people are living together and bearing it all for the camera crew of MTV's Real World 2. Watch it Thursdays at 10 and find out what gets exposed. Plug into a brand new world.
MTV's Beavis and Butthead is brought to you by Barks, the one with bite.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now this is what death rock is all about.
Yeah. Drums, guitars, and death. They finally got it right.
They've been given the choice. They're making the change. 1-800-COLLECT.
Carrie Jacobson's a milk drinker. Once I saw her, I had to meet her. She says milk helps with shiny hair and beautiful skin. She's right, she's gorgeous. She gets a lot of attention. From me, she gets total attention. Milk does a body good.
What did I tell you, Principal Skinner?
Mrs. Scrabumple, it's time we cut off Simpson's Butterfinger supply.
It's showtime!
Get a crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery burst in every bite of Butterfinger.
Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
Welcome everybody to Second Pour. That's right. The reason I have to do that extended break is so I can get more ice. Yeah, because it kind of melts pretty quick, everybody. We are in Second Pour territory. All bets are off. No restrictions, no holds barred, with the exception of some stuff that I have to say for my members. That's, a little bit different. But let me know what you're thinking in the chat, guys. Where are your questions at? What do you think? What do we want to talk about tonight? And let's say hi. Hey, Justin is active in the chat tonight. Console Kits, always good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you indeed. So let's talk about it. Whatever it is you want to talk about, we're going to talk about it for sure. If I did buy one, number two definitely follows the arcade design. It does, and I'm not saying that you can't improve upon it. Maybe you can take some artistic license and do some things different. But I think a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, the people that had problems with it were like me and Michael B. Talking specifically about number one is that it's just too much of a departure, and it's not the Street Fighter doesn't have to be that big on the side. It's not necessary, and you've done that to the detriment of Ryu. You've like scooted him off the damn side of the cabinet. So something else like number three. I guess if I don't like one, number two is my favorite. But if I can't have number two, which one would I have out of the four? 3, 4, 5, or 6? I think probably it's either going to be 5 or 3. 5 or 3. I don't know that I need to have. Maybe in a perfect world, if I couldn't get 2, I'd like to have 3, but have Street Fighter underneath Ryu. So have Ryu, because if you're looking at it, there's too much Street Fighter 2 going on all up top. You need to spread it out a little bit. So maybe number 5. Maybe number 5. Okay, so number 5. That's what I would go with that one. I would pick number 5 because you still get all the same colors and everything, all the same wildness, but you don't have a additional Street Fighter that's it just seems a little top heavy. All the artwork is kind of top heavy. But I don't mind you taking Ryu and making him a little bit bigger. I would have liked to have Street Fighter 2 a little smaller, down low. Maybe sort of halfway, maybe between the red Capcom and Ryu's belt. Maybe right there. Might have been better. But probably I think if I couldn't get number 2, I don't like number 1, 5. I think I would go 5. So 5 would be my backup. Hey, yeah, listen. Great advice. Smash the like button. Snowdub over here. Modding like a mofo. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. As always. John gets cranky when he's on a diet. This leads to stage fright. Perhaps. And hopefully he's doing well with his diet. I love how nobody has beef with Double Dragon iconic side art because it's arcade accurate. Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of hard to take an issue with that. And I will say that at least that artwork kind of covers up the whole side, where I see why people maybe don't like 2, because it does seem like it's just a sticker on the side of a black cabinet. Because that's what it was. That's exactly what it was back in the day. They would just take a black Dynamo cabinet, and then Capcom would sell a kit which included a marquee and the graphics package for the control panel, a bezel. And when it came to the side art, they just sold these squares, these rectangles, I guess. and they just slapped them on the side. And then eventually they got so lazy moving forward that they just put the word Capcom on the side of like the Big Blue, like my Big Blue cabinet. It had a red Capcom sticker or yellow Capcom sticker on the side. I took it off. I wanted to get creative, but I went back to it because I think it's probably, for me, it's more arcade accurate. And you do that knowing that it's maybe not artistically the best. So maybe a compromise can be made, an homage to the original, but still being sort of updated. You're killing us. You're killing us. Tell us, don't you know we want to know? And then we'll all know. And we want to see pictures of this big bad boy. And I want to see it on location somewhere with gamers playing it and jamming on it. Come on, Bobby. Come on, man. We got to see something. You know, you can be playing it. Somebody can be playing it. But we want to see the full size, the real deal cabinet in the flesh, not a render. And we want to see that UI, and we want to see what kind of sticks you decided on. I think I heard it's Sandwall now, and not the other Hap clones. You know, tell us all the dirty details, man. We want to know. We want to know. Yeah, second pour, absolutely. Look at that Sony watch. I know, man. Back in the day, so awesome. Okay, when will we find out about this shooting cabinet going into your arcade collection? Very soon. Very soon. So here is, so the status of it is, I think I've shared, well, you know where I'm getting it from, Big Gun Arcades, and they do a lot of different well, they have like full-size replicas, they have these pedestals, and then they have these these little pedestals that not even really pedestals, they're like a bar top, right? And the guns are mounted on this pretty rugged base, and they sit on a bar top. So me and Big Gun Arcades talked about, and I'll go ahead and pull up there. Let me kill that. Let me pull up their website. Let's see, Big Gun Arcades. And here we go. And let me click that. And here we go. Boom. All right. And then I'll share whilst we discuss. Here we go. And you can look at some of the stuff that they have. Here's like the 4 sort of big form factors they have. They have the full size. This is like a T2 inspired replica. Obviously, the guns aren't accurate to what was actually on the T2 cabinet. And then they have this. This is their newest one here. This bar top shooter. And then this is the pedestal. And then this is the sort of, it's not a standalone. It's a big light gun cabinet that has just the pistols. I think it's Sinden light guns is what they're using. I believe so. Maybe not. Can't remember. But yes, you have this. They need a better picture. We need a straight forward-looking picture there. But this is what they have. So what we've done is I've collaborated with them to design something that's not here. It's kind of a combination of a couple different designs that they have. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And this is going to be a shooter cab with those type of mounted guns. So it's not going to be any kind of a Sinden. It's not going to be a light gun at all. It's going to be the mounted guns. I like those a lot because they use those in just a bunch of games from back in the day. And it's going to have hundreds of games, all the way from some of the old classics, Aerosmith, Generation X or Revolution X, that game, all the way up to some of the very most current games, like the Alien. I think it was Alien. The Terminator Salvation was one. Alien Extermination. The new Rambo game by Sega, the latest one that came out, and just a bunch of games on there. So I'm really, really, really excited about it. Obviously, there's a PC in there running. You're gonna have high speakers with your highs and mids, and you're gonna have some bass coming at you with your lows, and a coin door. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. It's not going to be a full size cabinet. It's not going to be a recreation. It's going to be a pedestal, but it's going to be a different design than what you see. Sort of a conglomeration, a combination, a fusion of 2 different styles on their website, kind of coming together to make something unique, special. I don't want to tell you what the theme is. I will say it's not Terminator 2. It's not Terminator 2. That's not the theme. That's kind of played out. I wanted something different. I wanted something to stand out a little bit more. So it's not Terminator 2. But as far as where it is in development, it's mostly constructed. I just got an update. One of the guns had a bad board in it, a bad PCB, so they had to order another gun. I said, Take your time. I want it to be right. I expected to have it this month. Going to probably be next month sometime. So we'll wait and see. But I'm excited to share it with you guys. It's going to be a ton of fun. Absolutely a ton of fun. Where are we at in the chat as of right now? We got another super chat. How do I unlock the third pour? I have to work tomorrow, or I would definitely be game for that for sure. But no third pour. You're killing me. Third pour is the members only live stream, where I actually will have a third drink there, and then I go to sleep like a baby. Thanks again for your super chat, buddy. Okay, we have 2 and 4. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, you're like the black background, don't you? Damn, now you got me second guessing. So then I think that if I were to change it, maybe I'd go with 6 because you have the black. Maybe the granite stuff. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. 2 or 4. Jolly. Respect your opinion. For sure. Okay. I think maybe 6. 3 if I was going to get one. 3 seems to be the most popular, I think. Double Dragon. There you go, buddy. Thanks, brother. Double D's. Double D's. That's a different game. That's a completely different game. Still stunned. Yes, he is. Yes. He is a real person. Snowdub is an absolutely real person, a great person for sure. Ezekiel coming in with a $5 super chat, brother. Michael B told me I needed to super chat to get the secrets of Unico. Cheers, brother. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. And I'm going to tell you all the secrets. I'm going to tell you right now. Let's go ahead and start the very.
Can't you do any better?
Absolutely be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. There you are. All the secrets revealed tonight. Thank you so much. Yes, renders are fine. I mean, renders are good to give us an idea. But at this stage of the game, show us the sample being sent to the factories. That golden sample, all right? The one that's the gold standard, the one that we need to have. That's what we need to see. I think we need to see that so that pre-order holders will know 100% what they're getting their hands on. They need to be just the most informed at this point. And then what that's going to do, I guarantee you, when we see the final sample and we see a complete product, you're going to have people salivating, wanting to buy one, wanting to pre-order. And then you're going to be inundated with those requests. And those requests, those are the emails you want to get. Those are the fanatical people that you want to be dealing with because they just got to have what you're selling. And that's great. Then you have this whole other problem of, I guess we're going to have to sell more. That's what I think. FU final. Isn't that incredible, J-Rod? Very nice. Very good. First game I'll find and play a Galloping Ghost is Double Dragon. I'll post pics in Discord. Absolutely. Yeah, I heard San Juan clones. Better quality, whatever that means. San Juan just gives me an idea. If you didn't put a real San Juan in there, that just tells me I can swap in a legit San Juan. As long as I know what I'm getting, I'm fine. Tired of Street Fighter. We want Double Dragon. We want Double Dragon. You are not alone. A ton of people are super. Nope. Killing us. Soon ain't good enough. Bobby, that's what she said. Clean. That's right. Hopefully for much success. I want success for everybody. As long as they're making a good product and as long as they're not cheating their customers. Rock on. I think there's enough people out there, and things are so sort of fragmented, may not be the best word. Segmented, I guess. There's so many people in different niches who really want a certain thing. And we can get things now for not astronomical fees. And A1up was kind of blazing a trail when they did what they did. I know maybe some people don't like it when I say that, but I think that that's a factor. They sort of found this niche, found this little spot where people will be happy with it's a recreation. It's a small little recreation of cabinets, and they can do it for not that much money. Dirty like a father. It's the opposite of clean like a mother. Wait, is Fox getting T2 to replace? No, not at all. Duck Hunt, a Duck Hunt theme. That might not be that bad. Can we get an Alien cab? Scrap T2 and give me 3 solid Alien gun games. Why not? Why can't RK OneUp do it? The fact is they can. They just have to actively pursue licenses. And they got to do what they have to do to lock those licenses down. And then deal with their partners to manufacture these things. And they don't need to be, this is something we cautioned. I say us YouTubers, sure, but a lot of the community had the same issue. Cautioning RK OneUp not to go insane. Don't go crazy. You don't have to remake the same game every year, you know? Make it and sit on it and just be good with it. Okay? And then come up with a design that you can mass produce, you know? So kind of what they did with the midway shape, they made that for a lot of different cabinets, had that sort of shape, you know. So we just wanted them to kind of settle in and then just give us more games. You can forgive a slightly different shape if you can get the side art right, if you can get the games you wanted, you know, that kind of stuff. If they could have settled into that. Don't be so dramatic with all your different changes. Don't go wild and crazy. I mean, should they have done that much with the Time Crisis cabinet? I like the way it looks, but I don't know that all that was necessary. But then again, I don't know. You got to justify the cost. You got to justify the purchase. Could they have gotten away with a midway shape for a Time Crisis cabinet? I don't know. Probably not. But it wasn't like T2 looked exactly like T2, but they did get the generalized shape correct. So I don't know. Time Crisis may have been the one where they kind of jumped the shark. I don't know that game warranted that level of cabinet redesign. Time Crisis fans loved it, I'm sure. But that was that's a lot of money to completely radically redesign a cabinet just for really that one game. So I don't know. Maybe follow that Dynamo cabinet sort of thought process and just make something in that same vein. And you can put a bunch of different games in it. Yeah, Dirty Like I think I already said that. Here we go down. Can we get that? Let me see. Credit card charge for FU. Well, you're in it now, aren't you? That's exactly what happened when I got that with my with my game Kickstarter. I put down my credit card, and as soon as the Kickstarter was over, I got charged. So, all right, the money hit their bank. Now the hard work begins, right? Now they got to come through. Just be patient. We'll pay off, guys. Trust me. Listen, we obviously we have some faith in you. A lot of people pre-ordered this, you know, on blind faith because they had nothing else to go on. They just had a prototype that wasn't the original. So, bro, I mean, come on. You know, just what you need to do now, since you're a little bit late, just keep coming out with a nice, steady stream of information. Just every week, every 2 weeks, something. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Here we are in the process. You know, Unico had made a lot of mistakes, but when they finally got up and running, as far as production, mass production, they were giving me pictures to show to everybody. Hey, look, here they are. Here's what here they are. Here's a whole stack of cabinets, you know, in different stages of production. You know, they're on their way. They're moving towards you. That's what people want. You gotta get people comfortable, man. And you're not going to do that with silence. That doesn't work. So we're excited, but come on, man. Let's go. The time is over to be patient. Time is now to deliver. And I know you can do it. Just deliver. Just deliver it. Fox, how about the Real Ghostbusters game by .mu? Yes, well, that's another good one, dude. That's another good one based on the cartoon. Yeah, the Real Ghostbusters. Take that franchise, which I know they're trying to get that going. They're trying to make that Ghostbusters universe, and take those original, you know, that original cartoon and those designs and just put that in this. That would be sick. You're not necessarily fighting bad guys. You're taking down ghosts, you know, fighting different hordes of ghosts. I mean, you could have all kind of crazy stuff. That would be a ton of fun. Almost as fun as a $10 super chat from B Kirby. Thank you so much for another super chat, buddy. You didn't have to do that, but I definitely appreciate it. If Street Fighter 2 was made in the early 80s, when they put more effort into the arcade machines, artwork, and style, it would have never been generic looking like number 2. Look at early 80s cabinets. I agree with you. All I'm saying is that that's what it was. And that's why I want number 2. But I think what you're saying is you're appealing to that early 80s concept or the aesthetic where they had design. Even if it was just like a Taito cab that just had a Taito design on the side, it was the whole side. And the games had, I mean, like, especially the 80s, they had some sick artwork where they put a lot of thought into that. So if you're talking about that, if you want to reclaim that, if you're saying that, okay, we're moving forward and we want to mimic games that are even older than the game that's on the cabinet, I'm not going to get mad at that. Not at all. Which one? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this one.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
I have T2, rarely play it, but it looks great and is fun occasionally. So no plan to get rid of it and no need to replace it. Thor KC, I think you're kind of, I mean, you're kind of the person I'm talking about. I'm talking to. Like, why? I mean, if you got it, if you're excited about it, listen, I paid $700. I hate to, it's difficult to say the words. I paid $700 for this thing. I paid $700 for Ridge Racer. The hell was I thinking? Got rid of Ridge Racer pretty quickly. The T2 I kept, man, for a long time. I paid $700 for it. So if you're one of those original buyers like me that bought it and kept it for years, I mean, why would you upgrade? I mean, if it totally died, if let's say you bought it and you loved it and it died and you couldn't find replacement parts and you couldn't find a secondhand unit, and you just miss it and you wish you had it, I guess get it and it'll scratch that itch, I guess. I know there were some people that had bad PCBs and maybe they just couldn't get that resolved. Maybe those people will be all about this. But man, I don't know. I took it as far as I could go without going stupid crazy. I mean, G.I. Joe inline riser, 19-inch buy stuff, monitor, Joe Sabo marquee with the toothpick mod. The toothpick mod saved the day. Modified the hell out of the guns, added LED light strips, something nobody's ever done before. I was the first one to do the cup mod, where you cut off the bottom of the cup and tuck your cord in, and then other people did other versions of that, and that looks sick. It was around for a while. I think people did everything they wanted to do with it. So, I mean, I'm glad to see it's a good one, right? Obviously, to see it come back. But I think the people that wanted that, I think the people that wanted it got it. And I don't know that there was a big shortage of that because of the controversy of the one game. At the time, remember, it was one game and it was $700. That was a big hill to climb, right? A big hurdle to clear. Home Arcade is about to explode with goodness. We win. We win all day long. I hope Dub's hand. I hope it's okay too, man. He's hurt, man. He's cut up, but hopefully he'll get better. I'm hurt too, but I just did work. See, yeah. Axe and rake, and we had those trees cut in the backyard. I think I told you about that last week. I had to really get rid of some of those roots and some of that. I wanted to feather that and get that all smooth. It took a lot more work than I think I thought. So I had to get my calluses going again. There you go. And we still never got Space Ace, which was advertised. Yes, it was on their site for over a year. It was a alternate skin of that Dragon's Lair cab, and we never got it. And that just pisses me off. Dave Ramsey, that credit card. Absolutely. Let me see if I can scroll down, find something. So Double Dragon cabinet will happen. Yes. If I had to put money on it, I bet that it's going to happen. I don't know if Double Dragon Revive will happen. I think it'd be kind of cool to offer both and to have them get the data from that. Who's going to be willing to buy that? I thought about this the other day. I'm thinking about it today, actually. We're talking about these .mu cabinets, or not cabinets, but these .mu games and these, and not just .mu, but He-Man's being done by Bitmap Bureau and all these great beat 'em ups. I mean, it may be sacrilege to say, but see, in the beginning, guys, we never wanted 16:9. And I think that's right. We never wanted it because we wanted the original games and the original aspect ratio of 4:3. And I agree with that. But is there a case to be made now that there's so much retro goodness coming out in 16:9 format? Is there a case to be made for that 16:9 cabinet? I mean, if you've got a great Turtles game that's 16x9, Shredder's Revenge, which some of you have already made cabinet. You've already done this modification. If Shredder's Revenge looks really good at 16x9, and then obviously when you select a 4x3 game, if it crops back into 4x3 for the classic Turtles, is that something you'd be willing to buy now? I don't think that people would when this whole thing first kicked off. But we're about to have, I mean, we've already got a pretty good substantial library of good 16x9 retro styled games. Maybe we need to revisit this. And maybe this is where, and the reason I bring this up is I think Iconic could be really onto something, because they have a 16x9 monitor in there and they're still able to maintain the aesthetic of the HS1. But with a simple bezel swap, you can be 16x9. So what do? Do they sell two different cabinets or offer two different cabinets? One is Double Dragon Revive, and then you can also play Double Dragon on it, or just Double Dragon, but you can't play the new game on it. Or do they sell a Double Dragon cabinet styled as the original back in the day, and they include a different bezel, a 16x9 bezel that you can just swap out. A few screws, you can swap it out if you choose to play those 16x9 games. Because I don't know that a Double Dragon Revive cabinet would sell if it was styled and designed for that. But I think, me personally, I think that you could sell a Double Dragon cabinet that looks like the prototype that we saw, bezeled 4.3, but include another bezel that's 16x9 so that you have the option. You don't have to dismantle the whole cabinet. You don't have to change the artwork. You don't have to commit to a new game aesthetic. Keep the old game aesthetic, but then have that option. I also reached out to Iconic. I said, what about rotating the screen? Can you rotate the 24-inch 16x9 this way? And you can, I think we talked about this last week about Raiden and vertical games. They haven't taken those measurements yet. I don't know if they can do that. But if you could simply go 4x3, 16x9, and for those that want to stay 4.3, you can. It comes equipped with that monitor bezel. You're good to go. But maybe if you want to play a widescreen game like Double Dragon, you could do that. And maybe if you decide to take this and mod it, or just play other games, or maybe eventually they could come out. I mean, I don't know. Could Turtles be a possibility? Old game, new game, and then all you're doing to the cabinet is just swapping out a plexiglass bezel. I think there's a case to be made. I think that we could talk about that, and maybe where we couldn't have had this conversation 5 years ago. Maybe we can now. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully without killing each other. Yeah, I won't buy Double Dragon Revive. It's just fine. It's just not for me. But OG Double Dragon is day one buy, because the arcade cabinets were the old games. So I see what you're saying. So you give us the old cabinet skinned in the old game. But if it's got a 16x9 already, you don't have to do anything nuts. Let's say that you can download these games, like they're talking about building that infrastructure. Let's say they are. Let's say it happens. Let's say they do that. You'll have the ability to download that game and just take out the monitor, or not the monitor, but the monitor bezel, just the bezel, just the plexiglass cover. That's all you got to do, and put in the one that came with it's in the box, came with it, 16x9. And it could just be a simple piece of plexiglass that's painted black on the top and bottom, and it just gives you a nice clean 16x9 look. Doesn't have to be elaborate, doesn't have to be crazy. Doesn't even have to match the artwork. It could just be black. Or it could be, they could have a decal on there. Whatever. I think that I think that's a conversation we can have now without people killing each other. Whereas maybe 5 years ago, couldn't have done that. Yeah. I like the Shinku art, but not for the cab itself. I got a pair of the high back stools for my Street Fighter H2H. Head to head. There you go. I watched that Double Dragon prototype vid so many times. God, that was gorgeous. Bobby Vu, I hope you're still in the chat listening to this. People are excited about that. Dungeons and Dragons would be an amazing arcade cab release, just saying. Pop-in quick change bezels are a great idea. the best of both worlds, right? Would that make sense? You're buying an OG styled Double Dragon cab, 100% ready to go. The bezel for the OG 4.3 is in there. If you just want to fire up and play the old games, you can. But if you want it, but for those of us that want to change it up, all it takes is swapping in a different plastic bezel. That's it. That's all you have to do. No physical changing of anything. And then people are allowed to have those 16:9 games if they so choose. But you don't have to. It's the cheapest option. So instead of trying to offer two separate cabinets, where if you want a 16:9, you have to buy a complete cabinet that's styled in a new game, I think that's the best of both worlds. Because there was never a Double Dragon Revive arcade cabinet. I don't know. That would be an interesting poll to have, to really kind of gauge the audience and the community and decide kind of what it is you'd be interested in. Take the 16:9 cab and use to make a He-Man. I'm just saying. They're all because Sir Sega, they're all going to have 16:9. They're all going to have 16:9 screens. It's just going to be a physical bezel over the one to crop it into 4x3. So if you buy this cab, you're going to have 16:9. If you want to mod, it's already there. It's ready to go. The options are there. Yep. The iconic music. Absolutely. But I think that's the way to go. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Listening. Good. Listen, brother, pay attention, because it's not just me. It's not just some YouTuber. It's the community saying, hey, this is a good idea. Best of both worlds. I mean, some people we don't even want that new game. No problem. You'll love it. Some people say, hey, I like that new game. Hey, you can have it too. A couple screws and some plastic. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. You're done. And away you go. Hey, we got a late night super chat. Twisted Gaming TV coming in hot. $1.99. Thank you so much, buddy. What up? Happy FU day. Total smash. Glenn killed it. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it's just another day for the home arcade community. Another win. We're winning. Here you go.
Finish.
Okay, James says, if I'm doing a 16:9 cab, it's got to be a much bigger screen. That may be a problem too. Only a 24-inch monitor. That could be a problem too, because now we're, kind of in at games territory as far as the screen size goes. 24-inch may not be that big. Maybe if you want to dedicate it, and I see what you're saying. You're thinking like a Chulix, like a 32 or 42-inch monitor, right? Or 40-inch or whatever the Chulix monitor size is. I don't think it's 72 or 32, is it? It's not 32. It's 40, isn't it? Anyway, you're thinking of something like that. And I've thought about that a lot too, thinking about these 16:9 games. Man, a Chulix would be great. Fighting games, sure. But dude, all these beat 'em ups, to be able to sit your old ass down like me, that's why I love my candy cab. I can sit down and just game. And if it's a long, drawn out beat 'em up, I don't care. I'm sitting down. I just need cup holders. That's the only thing I need. Get a Chulix or something like that, and think about these modern games you can play. Oh man, that'd be awesome. That would be incredible. That'd be really incredible. So maybe that's a good point. Maybe you bring up a good point. Maybe a dedicated 16:9, only 24-inch, maybe that's a problem. What do you do then? I think you're probably looking for a different product then. If you want a dedicated 16:9, but if you want something that can do both, not a bad thing. Basically, just make a stream cap. Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's kind of what Glenn is doing on a larger scale. Just make a cabinet. Kind of what Unico is trying to do on the license side with recreating authentic shapes and but giving you a dedicated 4x3 experience. So that's the difference. Unico is making something definitely 4:3. Not really going to have an option for a 16:9. It's going to be different, totally different product. They could be shooting themselves in the foot. I don't really know. I think for the arcade purists, if they can do what they say they're going to do, which is the same thing, the caveat you put on everything, right? Talks are ongoing. No doors are closed yet, but you really want that to happen. You really want it to come through for sure. Did you see the TMNT Stern pinball machine for sale? I Did. Yeah. Justin said he got a deluxe for 1,000. That's pretty incredible. Why can't they make the bezel non-physical? They can. I think they can. I think the idea for the aesthetic of the original cabinet was to make it a physical, so it you don't see any kind of a seam. If you just have the monitor and it's bezeled digitally, you're going to see you'd see some sort of a gap between the physical bezel and the monitor itself. There'd be like a seam there. So to make that seamless, you just have a plexiglass over it with bezels that are clear on the sides, top and bottom, and then it's one piece of artwork that frames that whole monitor in, and you don't notice it because it's completely bezeled. But that would maybe be the thing you would do with the dedicated 16:9 version. You would obviously, when it is time to play that 4x3 game, digital bezels can be added. Just like most collections of games, like these Capcom collections and all that. Another $10 super chat. Lee the Machine Bower. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, brother. Always appreciate supporting the channel. Hey, Fox, we need a TMNT Pro Series, by the way. TMNT 90 is in theaters still. 28th this month for its 35th anniversary. Part 2 will return to theaters for its 35th anniversary in March 2026. I saw that. It's a great time to be alive. I'm glad we made it this far, right? And it's a great time to see these properties mining them for all they're worth. Like, bring back the old, give them a little bit of an upgrade, put them on theaters. That's great. Continue to keep the ball rolling and make a cabinet. Listen, I think that these license holders are looking for reasons or ways to capitalize on their IP. I don't think that desire is gone from the marketplace at all. And I think that there's customers for that. They just got to make the connection, especially as these old IPs begin to age and have these anniversaries. 35th anniversary for one, 35th anniversary for two next year. But think about, Star Wars, the 50th anniversary for that. Like, all these pinnacle IPs that were just like the standard for everybody's childhood are really coming into big milestones. And what better way to capitalize on this stuff is with partnering with different companies, especially if you get an arcade version, make an arcade update, an arcade homage to this. I'm 100% with you. You got my support. And thank you again for the super chat. We have another $5 super chat, not a tat, but a chat from David G. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. Fox, we met at the Chicago Pinball Expo and talked about Star Trek, Star Wars transitions. Still, I know. Those are harder to do. Because I got to clip a movie, but I think if I'm 10 seconds, I'm okay. So I got to work on that. Maybe if I could do some clips with no dialogue. Maybe that's the way I need to go. I'm with you. I know. I got to work on it. I've added a few different ones, but I need to. You're right. I love this. Audience, hold me accountable. And you've said that more than once, so I owe it to you. So I'm making a note right now. Star Trek and Wars transitions. It's time. The show's been going on long enough. It's time. We got to make that happen. Transitions. Better be careful how I write that. I could maybe be assuming something totally different. So lots to be consumed, lots to be discussed. Obviously, I think we want to see good companies making good products succeed. Communication has to be there. And the audience, the customer base will respond 100%, as evidenced by, the game over $1 million, wanting to see a home version of Time Crisis. And then the GRS, the FU, not saying FU to him, not saying FU to us, but saying, what did he say FU stood for? It's a fun unit, I guess. And the amazing success that is. We're here for it as long as it's something we want. And the only way you're going to know what we want is to listen to the fans and listen to the super chat. $2. Fox, are you going to Chicago Pinball Expo? Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. This year, I think it's probably most likely not in the cards. I think this fall, this winter, I may not be going to any conventions, but we have talked, me and the guys have talked about going to CES, going to Vegas. We haven't all gotten together and gone to Vegas yet. I'm not going to completely say no to Pinball Expo just yet. It might still happen. Oh, here we go. Fun size unit, family unit, fun unit. That's the official term. It doesn't mean anything else. What's wrong with you? Where's your brain at? Where's your mind at? But I think we're talking. That's the latest and greatest. We talked about Toronto, but now I think we've switched and we're actually going to talk about. We're thinking about maybe doing CES Las Vegas. That would be January. But I'm pretty damn close to Cleveland, and even though I haven't been invited by the Cleveland Gaming Classic, maybe I could just show up as a regular guy. Another $10 super chat. What's going on, man? Arrow Video are doing a TMNT 1, 2, 3 4K box set finally, but I missed my TMNT Arcade OneUp. It's at my cousin's house because it's getting the attention that it needed. Yeah, sadly, it had let it go, huh? Arrow Video is doing some great things, coming out with some awesome 4K versions of these old games or old movies. I think they're the ones that did the Last Starfighter 4K. They did that one too, didn't they? They're doing great things for the community, and it's good to see them stepping up and doing that. And we've gone long enough. It's time for another person. You know where they're going? To the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I hate it when you point out the obvious. I hate it when you find my fatal flaw. For $2, he's pointed it out. If we keep super chatting, Fox can't end his stream. Well, that's factual. I mean, I think it's even in the Geneva Convention.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Twisted Fabulous unit. There we go. That's it. That's exactly what we're talking about. Fox, serious question. Been watching Captain's Auctions. How much is shipped for a cabinet to the Kentucky, Tennessee area? Probably $500, buddy. I hate to say it, but yeah, you're looking at 500 easy. Maybe even more. It just depends on my shipping. Shipping is kind of a mixed bag. What I would caution you to do is reach out to them before you bid on anything. And what they typically do, I used Bitter Bros, I think, down in Texas, and they hooked me up with their person for getting quotes. And I reached out to them first, and I said, hey, they're in San Marcos, Bitter Bros is. I said, hey, how much is something, sending an arcade cab. I had to give them the dimensions, overall weight and stuff. And then I had to get an actual quote from them. And that gave me an idea of where they were at. I think they were at $350 from Texas to my house. So if you want something shipped to your home, $500 or $600. There's one more thing you need to consider. If there is a Fastenal near you, talk to Captains. I'm not sure if they do this, but you can save a fortune if you ship through Fastenal. What they do is, if you're whoever, Captains, I don't know if they'll do this, but what they'll do is they'll take it to a Fastenal near them, and then Fastenal will ship it from one Fastenal to another Fastenal for like a couple $100. It's not expensive at all. It's pretty cheap, especially when you compare these other options. When I had the Star Wars Battle Pod shipped, $500. That was from Pennsylvania, which wasn't that far, but it's a big item, and they loaded on a big skid and all that. So it's crazy. Oh, here you go. Yeah. Fastenal is amazing. That's how I got my Road Blasters from 19K Fox. That's exactly how we did that. Fastenal is how I'm getting my pedestal from Big Gun Arcades. That's what he does. So don't sleep on that. That's a pretty good option. So check it out. Yeah, $165 from Cincinnati to Florida. That's crazy. So as long as you have the means to pick it up. So if you're talking about head-to-head cabinet, some kind of a tabletop thing or something small you can put in the back of a pickup truck, no problem. If you got a full-size truck with a 6-foot bed, you can still pick up a full-size cabinet, no problem. An 8-foot bed, you're good to go. If you got a buddy's trailer, even better. FU shipping cost is about right. Yeah. It's yeah, it's about right. It's expensive, but I think it's a couple $100. That's not bad. So, and that's flat packed. These big arcades, unfortunately, you know, as big as they are, you know, you're gonna enjoy them, you're gonna love them, but they are gonna make you, you know, your wallet's gonna take a hit when you see that shipping bill. But you got to think about it when you're talking about the total cost of an arcade. Would you look at that?
What the hell? Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time. I got to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. But before we do, remember, members, you ain't going nowhere. You're going to be automatically redirected to the after show that happens right after this show. It's more than just a clever name, I guess. Huh? Actually makes sense. But before we do, everybody, I want to talk about the poll question. Let's read those results right now. Let's go ahead and jump up here. And okay, we have 167 votes. Great job, guys. Really good job. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll right now with 167 votes. Not too shabby. Let me take a quick image. Let me take a little picture of this. Boom. We're going to want to post this up a little bit later. Definitely want to talk about this one in the community post for sure. Coming in the number 4 spot, the last place is I got mine ordered. Only 1% are getting their T2 Deluxe. Coming in the number 3 spot is I'm going to order it, with only 3% of the vote. So what came in first? Either way, it's not good. With a whopping 84% of my audience. The question being, how likely are you to get the Arcade OneUp T2 Deluxe? You said, I'm not getting this one. 84% of you saying you're not getting it. You're just not interested. So number 1 was 84% not getting it. Number 2, with 10% of the vote, was waiting for a sale. That means only 14% of you are even interested in getting this. And that's pretty rough. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. You guys don't work too hard. Have a good week. Have a blessed week. And I'll see you all right back here next time. Peace.